Welcome to Magic Tale World, where every story comes alive with wonder. Let's open the book and begin our adventure together.
Once upon a time, in a land filled with sunshine and tall, swaying grasses, there lived a magnificent lion. He had a golden mane that shone like the sun, and a roar so mighty it could make the leaves on the trees tremble. This lion, known for his strength and pride, was the king of his domain. Not far from where the lion roamed lived a wild boar. He was a sturdy fellow with tough, bristly hair, sharp tusks that curved towards the sky, and a grunt that was surprisingly loud. He spent his days happily rooting around for delicious roots and berries. One day, the summer sun blazed down with all its might. It was incredibly hot, so hot that the air shimmered and the earth felt warm to the touch. The heat made all the animals very, very thirsty. The birds stopped singing, the monkeys hid in the shady branches, and everyone was dreaming of cool, refreshing water. The lion, feeling the heat parch his throat, decided he must find water. At the very same moment, the boar, whose snout was dry and dusty, had the exact same idea. Both the lion and the boar, driven by their powerful thirst, began to walk. Their paws and hooves padded softly on the dry ground. They both knew of a small, hidden spring, a secret place where the clearest, coolest water bubbled up from the earth. It was the only water source for miles around. With their minds set on a long, refreshing drink, they both made their way towards this little oasis, not knowing they were about to meet. They arrived at the spring at the very same instant. The lion saw the boar, and the boar saw the lion. They stood on opposite sides of the tiny pool of water, which was just big enough for one animal to drink from at a time. The lion lowered his head, ready to drink, but the boar stepped forward and grunted, "Stand back. I was here first." The lion lifted his head, his eyes flashing with pride. "You dare speak to me?" the king, in that tone. "I will drink first," he roared. The boar was not scared. He stamped his foot and snorted. "King or not, my thirst is as great as yours. I will not wait for you." The lion let out a low growl. "We will see about that." And so they began to argue. Their voices grew louder and louder, echoing through the quiet afternoon. The lion roared about his strength and his right as king, while the boar grunted about his own needs and his courage. Neither one was willing to back down. They were both too proud and too stubborn to share or take turns. From arguing, they quickly moved to fighting. The lion swiped his massive paws, his claws extended like sharp knives. The boar charged with his head down, his pointy tusks aimed right at the lion. They circled each other, growling and snorting, kicking up dust and splashing the precious water they both so desperately wanted. The sound of their battle was fierce, a clash of roars and grunts. They fought and fought, getting more tired and more angry with each passing moment, completely forgetting about their thirst. After a long and exhausting struggle, they both had to stop to catch their breath. They were bruised, scratched, and panting heavily under the hot sun. They stood apart, glaring at each other, their anger still burning. As they posed, exhausted from their pointless fight, the lion happened to look up at the sky. What he saw made him freeze. Circling high above them were several vultures, their dark wings spread wide, riding the hot air currents. The lion nudged the boar with his nose and pointed his head upwards. The boar looked up too and saw the birds. He knew what vultures meant. They were patient birds that waited for animals to fall in battle so they could feast on the leftovers. A sudden chill ran down the boar's spine. Despite the heat, the sight of the circling vultures was a scary reminder of what could happen if they continued their fight. The lion turned to the boar, his voice no longer filled with anger, but with a newfound wisdom. "Look," he said quietly, "those vultures are waiting for one of us to lose. They think they will have a grand dinner tonight." The boar nodded slowly, understanding the grave danger they were in. He looked at the lion, then at the vultures, and then back at the small pool of water. Their silly fight suddenly seemed very foolish. "You are right," the boar replied, his voice a low rumble. "It is much better for us to become friends and share this water than to fight and become food for those vultures." The lion agreed completely. "Indeed," he said, "let us drink together. Our lives are more valuable than a moment of pride." And so, putting their quarrel aside, they approached the spring as friends. The lion took a sip, then stepped back to let the boar drink. They took turns peacefully, sharing the cool water until their thirst was finally gone. They learned a very important lesson that day. It is always better to work together and share than to fight over small things, because fighting can lead to a much bigger loss for everyone involved. So, what do you think we can learn from the lion and the boar? It's that sharing and being friends is so much better than arguing. When we work together, everyone can be happy and safe. Did you enjoy our story today? If you did, please give us a big thumbs up and don't forget to share it with your friends so they can enjoy it too. And if you want to see more fun stories like this one, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.